Hi, I'm Chad Waldo, Regional Sales Manager for Techni Waterjet, and today we're going to be talking about DXF Import into Softec. Softec is what we use to control all of our waterjet machines. As you can see here, I've just got the sheet laid out, simple table layout for you, 4x8 foot sheet. It's 3/8 thick aluminum, and to use a DXF, we're just going to simply say File, Import DXF. We're going to leave all of these parameters by default and just say OK. And we're going to pick up this one right here. Anybody who's familiar with Star Trek, this is a Macleth. It's a Klingon weapon. So we're going to have a little bit of fun geeking out on this today. When you bring a DXF in, you're going to need to do a couple things to it real quick. Right now I can tell you we've got the outline of it, and these white dots essentially are basically where the bead is for the stream, right? So you can see it's right over the center. So we don't have an offset. So in order to fix that, we're just going to go over here to Automatic Features. We're going to let it do the lead-ins and lead-outs automatically. We're going to let it do the compensation for the outside of it automatically. I'm going to say OK. And it has now added all of that. We can see the arrows telling us that the bead is now on the outside of the part. And we can see that we have a lead-in and a lead-out right here, and where our pierce is into that plate. Although there's one thing wrong. It's not filling this in. Normally when we bring in an object of any kind, a part, a DXF, or even one of our standard objects from our library like these, and we do this automatic feature here, it's going to fill this in so that you know this is your part. In this case, it didn't fill it in. Why? I can tell you it's either one of two things. Either one of these segments or lines doesn't actually touch with another one, or there's some sort of a gap, or one of these might be a spline. Typically a spline that gets imported in winds up just not showing up, or shows up as a whole bunch of tiny little lines. In this case, I'm not seeing anything that's a bunch of little lines, and actually I thought this would come in just clean, but hey, we'll figure something out together. I'm not sure where the problem is, so let's do one of two things. Number one, we can just ignore it and go ahead and nest it and see if it nests and cuts. And if it does, then we don't really care, do we? We can come over here. Yep, there it is. Let's run it through the simulation, make sure it's going to cut the whole thing. Sure enough, we're starting. I'll speed this up. We don't have to watch the whole thing. And we're cutting, and let's make sure it goes all the way around. In this case, even though there's some sort of a problem with the DXF not being a complete object, it still cuts it. So off you go. While this isn't a full CAD package, there are some ways we can go about trying to figure out where the problem is. If I select this line, I can come over here and say select chain. What's everything that's touching it? Okay, so that tells me that everything is touching. There is a chain there, but that there's something that's maybe a line is like past another line, and that's why it doesn't know where to fill it. So let's get rid of two of the arcs, and let's see if I select this and say that. Okay, so that one's probably good. If I come over here and I say that one's probably good. So that's not really telling me where anything is. If we zoom in and take a look around this part, maybe we just have an overlap of a line somewhere that'll tell us what we're looking for. What is... That's our lead out. That's our... Oh. Right there. Huh, okay. So we actually have a line right here that's going past this line right here, and so therefore we're not getting a fill. So we can actually just come over here to the side and we can say trim, and we can select that line. And we're just going to pull it back to where these two lines aren't touching, and then I can just go in and put a line in real fast. We can just make this quick. Line to line. Now we'll go back and do our automatic segment, and we'll see if this fills. Sure enough, it does. And at that point, we don't even have to do anything over here. It's parametric design between one object and the plate. So once we already have it nested, any change we make here is going to show up over there. So if we were nesting this multiple times, maybe we were cutting out 10 or 15 of these, we would wind up having all of that done. Any repair we did to this DXF or this object on this end would automatically show up on that end. While it's not a full-blown CAD package, we do have some nice things over here to work with. creating notches, trimming like you just saw there, little things we can use to kind of fix up and import a DXF where lines don't touch or lines just intersect. And that is Softec DXF Import.